Hey GM everyone, lilpanda here. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone that this BuilderDAO stream series is funded by BuilderDAO. Mike and I are both being paid to produce these fun conversations. Today we're talking to Chris Carella. He is the founder of PurpleDAO, so obviously he owns PurpleDAO tokens. I don't recommend that you buy any DAO tokens. These are complicated ecosystems. They're difficult financial games. This is not legal advice or financial advice. But this episode is a lot of fun, so enjoy. Hey, lilpanda here, and I'm here with Mike Good. We just had a great hour-long conversation with Chris Carella. We spoke about forming PurpleDAO, a DAO dedicated to funding builders to proliferate the farcaster protocol, and Chris's experience deploying the first DAO on nouns.build. Chris, it's great to have you here, GM.
GM, guys.
You know, Purple was the first DAO built with nouns.build that I saw. When did you start PurpleDAO?
Yeah, so we were the first. We launched as soon as it went to mainnet. And so we have been playing around on testnet. We tested heavily, actually, and provided feedback to Zora as they were working on it. And then as soon as they were live, we were ready to deploy. We had all of our assets. We had everything agreed upon. So yeah, we were first. And I actually just started with a cast. And so a cast is maybe the farcaster version of a tweet. And I just kind of casted like, hey, we should start a DAO to fund all this amazing builder activity that's happening. So that really motivated into a few of us in this Telegram channel thinking about, okay, cool, can we launch a DAO to support the farcaster ecosystem? And so while all this was happening, Jacob, who is a user of farcaster, Jacob from Zora, he reached out and said like, hey, we're building Nouns Builder and we think this would be perfect. And you guys should consider it. And here's the link. It's all on testnet right now. And that is just sort of the motivation of it all. And then it just kind of spiraled from there. The mission of Purple is to proliferate and expand the farcaster protocol and the ecosystem. And that was decided, very upfront, like this is what we're doing.
And what types of features would you like to see built for nouns.build?
So one, I think it's an incredible tool. I think it really kind of democratizes the ability to create Nounish DAOs, which, frankly was quite difficult before Nouns Build. So it's really great. And you see that, I think, in the many DAOs that are being created on it. There isn't really like a Squarespace version of creating your Nounish DAO homepage. It would be great to see like Agora for these things. The things that already exist in the Noun ecosystem, many of them already do support some BuilderDAO stuff, but then all of those tools are super relevant. I think I personally find voting difficult currently, not the voting, but the tracking of voting is difficult. So who voted is not a thing that's like on the BuilderDAO website really easily yet. So I think there's like a lot of room around delegation because one of the things I'd like to talk about is like who joins these BuilderDAOs or who joined Purple. And then I'll give you my actual biggest one and the biggest pain point. Just notifying people that stuff is happening is an unsolved problem, I think, like almost throughout the whole Nounish ecosystem. And so I think like a really cool tool for the whole BuilderDAO ecosystem and even the whole Nounish ecosystem is like some better notification systems, whether that's like using something on chain like XMTP or just plain old email. So people get an email when a prop goes on chain. I think that would like solve a really key problem around governance and engagement and participation. What I really think is like it's a pretty good tool. We just need lots of experiments and lots of people trying lots of different things from serious to playful to crazy. All of that like experimentation should happen.
What were some pain points you found when starting a noun style DAO?
Like I just encountered a lot of people who didn't know what nouns was. And so I was coming into it from like, I've been in Shark DAO since almost the beginning. I'm in Little Nouns. I just like have been around nouns governance for a while. I learned a lot more about it all once I joined Purple and had to start defending some of the design decisions, which I think are amazing, by the way, but not everyone really understood them or thought they were amazing. And so one of the very first things was, just hitting a wave of farcaster users. And farcaster users are like very sophisticated Web3 crypto people who have been around for a long time. They've have been in other DAOs. There's lots of other DAOs in there. And then when we launched and we announced it, it was like I immediately realized, or at least learned, that lots of people in that demographic I just described had no idea what Nouns is or how it works. All they knew is that Nouns were selling for like 80 ETH, and they just kind of thought it was a bunch of rich people in a playground. They had no notion that like most of the funding goes to people, or at least a lot of the funding goes to people who aren't token holders. They had no notion of like, no, this is, one of the very early criticisms was like, oh my God, this treasury is so big, Chris is just going to rug us all. And it was like, I had to like step back and sort of explain to people like, no, this treasury is a smart contract. It was only unlocked by proposals. It was like literally impossible for me to rug you guys, And what was surprising to me was that these were not normies, right? These were crypto people invested in farcaster who just didn't really know how Nouns work. But then to me, Nouns is actually like a series of smart contracts that anyone can use. And we could use more education around how they work, why on-chain DAOs are important, and just kind of all of the mechanics of this stuff and more education around it. What does it mean to be Nounish? It's like, let's just do really cool stuff and make the world take notice and do it with good intentions and, be kind to each other as we do it and see what kind of change we can make in the process.
What do you think is the optimal run rate for deploying Treasury? If you were in charge, how much of your Purple Treasury do you think should be deployed?
Yeah, I would say that no one inside of Purple agrees with me on this. But I have been saying from day one, we should be deploying 100% of it. And that at the end of every month, we should be at 0 and just rebuild every month. And that should be our goal. Now, it's very hard to do that for a lot of reasons. It's just that maybe it's not even a realistic goal, but that's my thought is that like the treasury doesn't need to be holding funds. We need to be deploying funds and then just rebuilding them and redoing them. And so that was my pitch to the maybe first 10 token holders. Probably all 10 of them disagreed with me. And then people started talking about like a split. Well, maybe we hold 60% of the treasury and deploy 40, or maybe we hold 40 and deploy 60. We've never really come to an agreement on that or even kind of had follow-up conversations about it. But that's just sort of my take is like all of this stuff should be deployed. I believe in like what I think of as like the Nounish Flywheel, which is like you build a treasury, you deploy that treasury towards people doing really cool stuff. Lots of people see that cool stuff and they want to join your DAO. And so they buy the token and you rebuild the treasury. And so, the longer you hold on to that treasury, the less cool stuff you're doing, the less people you're reaching who want to now join this cool thing. I just believe in kind of deploying all of it. I think the phrase perpetuate the meme is really powerful and like very underappreciated at how powerful it is. And I'll say on one hand, like DAOs need very strong mission statements. Otherwise they sort of wander around aimlessly. And so for Purple, we totally, like someone suggests something, let's make t-shirts. Someone pulls out the mission statement and like we kind of map it against the mission statement. Does this proliferate the farcaster ecosystem? The answer might be yes for t-shirts. At least there's an argument for that. So that's actually has nothing to do with that. It's just DAOs need strong mission statements that people can get aligned around and can work autonomously and know that they are making an impact and working towards this mission statement. We always say we're very early. This is very true, and with DAOs especially. And what I love about DAOs is like we can speed run human organization. This stuff is really hard to do in like the real world, but we can kind of like speed run these different ways to do it. You do it like Nouns, or you do it like Juicebox, or there's a million different sort of structures for the organizations if we think about like the smart contracts and the tools, but then also like what can the organization do? It's like, can the local coffee shop on the corner be a DAO where its members are part of the owners? I just think there's just so much experimentation that needs to happen before we really even know what DAOs are good for.
Thanks so much, Chris. This has been great. You can follow Chris on Twitter at Chris Carella or join him and the other PurpleDAO members on Farcaster, where they're actively building on top of the Farcaster protocol. Again, I'm lilpanda, and if you'd like to hear my whole chat with Chris and Mike Good, you can find it on lilpanda.wtf. Thanks all, GN.